Hi guys, welcome back to another learning video of TechTitans Academy. Today we are reviewing the networking in the Docker part. Okay, so this is the official document of Docker networking. Let me just refresh it. Okay, so let's review what are the driver we have. Okay, what are the type of networking we have in the Docker. So very first driver we have is a bridge. Okay, so bridge is the by default network driver in the Docker. Okay, so whatever container you are going to create, that will be created on the bridge network itself. So that container can talk to each other. Let's say I have a two container running of Ubuntu image, so they can talk to each other. Okay, let me go back. Let me show you some demo here. I'll open the terminal. Okay, so this is my MacBook machine. Okay, now if I run if config command just to see the configuration, I see a network called bridge 0. Correct? Bridge 0. So this was created when I installed the Docker daemon. So this is my Docker daemon. Okay, yeah. So this is my Docker daemon. Okay, this as soon as I install this, as soon as you install the Docker on your machine, you would be getting a Docker 0 network being created. Correct? Bridge 0. Okay. Now let me run a container. Let's say Docker run it Ubuntu bash. Okay, now I just ran a container, okay, with the Ubuntu image. Now I'm inside the container. Okay, this is the interactive shell and this is the bash, right? So how do I check the IP address? I'm gonna run hostname hyphen I see the IP address of this specific container. Or if you want to see from the outside, what you would do, you would just run docker ps, okay, docker inspect the container name. I'm gonna grab only networking part, okay. Okay, let me try. So this is the one. This is the network part. Okay. We are by default connected to bridge. Okay. This is my gateway and this is the IP address of my Ubuntu container 172.17.02. If you go back and check, it is the same IP address. Okay. So by default, when you create a container, that will get attached to the bridge network. Okay. And you will have 172.17 family. Oh, okay, of IP addresses. So let's try creating one more container. Okay, Docker run it Ubuntu bash. Hostname hyphen I shows the IP address which is 172.17.0.3. Correct? This is 0.2, this is 0.3. Okay, they both belong to the same family. Okay, same IP address family, that is 172.17 series. If you go and check this one again, 172.17 series. Correct? Now, let me see if I have ping available now. So by default, Ubuntu container does not come with the ping package. Uh, I want to see if I can reach out to this container, which is our second container, 03 from 02 container or not. So I need to install a ping command. Okay, let it run meanwhile. Let's go back to the documentation part. Uh, so every container you are going to create, uh, okay, that will be created on the bridge network unless you specify the network type. Okay, while creating a container just like this, we did not specify any networking type, right? So by default, it got attached to the bridge network. Correct. Now, uh, when you are connecting to the bridge network, let's say I have a container up and running which is hosting a website on 80 port number. Okay, with the bridge network, I have to attach that port to the host port, which is the MacBook machine. Correct? I have to use -p option there. I'm going to show you. Docker run. Let's try running HTTP the image. Okay. Okay. Now my website is running localhost 80. Now it says the site cannot be reached. Correct? So what is the problem here? Okay, the specific website is running on 80 port number, but that port number is available only on the Docker container. Correct? So when you are working with the bridge type network, what you have to do, you have to bind the port. For example, with the -p option, 80 to 80. Okay, the first 80, the left 80 port number is of my MacBook machine, or it could be a Windows machine. Correct? In your case, if you are using Windows laptop or Windows computer, so that would be your host machine port, which is this MacBook machine. This 80 is where the website is running inside the container. So what we are going to do, we are going to bind 80 to 80. So whatever traffic is there on 80, we will be able to access the same on the 80 port number. So I'm gonna run the container. Okay, I will go here. I'll go type 80. See, it works. Okay, so HTTPD is used to host a simple website. Okay, it's a basically a web server that will host a simple website for you. Okay, and how do you access that website? You will be accessing that website while port binding. Okay, we have to bind the port. Correct? Let me go back. Let me see if this is completed. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, that's fine. Let me uh, go back to this one. I'll do one thing. I'll create one more terminal here. I will run docker ps command. Okay, I see two Ubuntu containers are running. Okay, this has exited. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let's go ahead and understand the rest of the drivers. Okay, okay, till this is completing, we can go ahead and we can continue our discussion there. Okay, so what is a host network? Okay, host network is will give you isolation between the container and the Docker. Correct? So if you check the IP addresses, which is 172.17.0, these are the IP addresses we got when we were using the default network, that is bridge network. When you want to use the host network to your container, you are going to get the same series of IP address which your machine has. Correct? For example, if config, I want to see the IP address of my MacBook. Okay, so the IP address of my MacBook is, let me see, this is the one. This is the NIC card, a network card. This is the 192.168.1.13 is the IP address of my MacBook machine. Now let's try Ubuntu. Okay, it's host, not hosts. Sorry, there was a typo. IT is missing. Okay, now I just ran a container with the network host. Okay, I am inside that container. Now, how do I verify? Let me run a docker ps command here. This is the container which is bind to the host network. Okay, how do I verify? Inspect this. Let me go. Okay, I don't see IP address. I don't see gateway. By default, network is host. Okay, that's fine. Let's do one thing. Let's get into that specific container. We are already inside the container. Okay, now let me run and check hostname -i. You see this IP address 192.168.192.168. These are coming from the host. Okay, when you create a container with the driver host or with the network driver host, you will get assigned a specific IP address series of your host computer system. Let me do one thing. Let me run an exit here. I'm gonna run if config grep inet. I want to see the IP address of my MacBook. So what is my IP address here? My MacBook has an IP address of 192.168 series. That is class C IP address, right? I get the same IP address here. Okay. Now the benefit of using host is in this scenario, let's say you are running a web server, you do not have to bind the port, correct? Because you are already connected to your host IP addresses pool, correct? So you do not have to use -p option in this scenario. But this host network can work on the Linux systems only. It will not work on a Windows and MacBook. So this is a MacBook machine. So even if I run the HTTPD container without specifying -p, I won't be able to see the UI. Okay, that is a drawback. So this specific host works really well on the Linux operating systems. Now there is one more type, that is none. Okay, so what is none? None is completely isolated environment. Okay, it will not, when you create a container with the none, that container will not be accessible from anywhere. Okay, it's a complete isolation. Okay, the next type is overlay. Okay, what is overlay? Overlay network can be used to connect multiple Docker daemons. Okay, so this is my Docker daemon. If you see, this is the Docker desktop, correct? So this is my Docker daemon. So let's say I have this computer, MacBook, okay, where I have one Docker desktop running. Let's say I have another laptop where same Docker desktop is running and I want to connect those two Docker daemons. So in that scenario, I'm going to use overlay, correct? I will be able to connect my running containers, okay, with the help of overlay to the different computer. Okay, so it will create a virtual bridge, okay, where this container can talk to the container which are running on another laptop. Okay, so overlay can be used in a larger company or larger environment. Okay, uh, there are next two type driver, that is IP VLAN and MAC VLAN. Okay, so what is IP VLAN? So just like host, you are going to get a full access of your IP address of host machine. Okay, and you get to decide the pool as well. Let me go and search. Okay, so this is how you can set up the Docker container to have a IP LAN, IP VLAN. Okay, this is how you can specify. I want to have a pool of IP address from this specific series. Correct. This is going to be my gateway. The first one, that is 192.168.1, and this one is going to be your gateway, and 192.168.1.2 is going to be your IP address. So you can create your own pool of IP addresses here. Okay, same as your host network. Okay, and you can connect that to the container. Okay, this is the IP VLAN. Now Mac VLAN. So every physical computer, just like laptop or a desktop machine, will have a MAC address. correct? So you can create a virtual MAC address and assign it to the container so that container can feel that it is running something on a physical server. Okay, or it can act like a one physical server. Okay, so in the most, what is the best practice here? The best practice is to create your own network. Okay, create your own network and then attach that network to your containers. Okay, that could be any, you can use any driver. Okay, so this is all about the drivers. Let's go back to the previous example. Okay, I think this apt update is done. Let me find out the package. I think the package name is, okay, I should be having a pin package now. So let's check the host name -i 172.17.0.2 and they should be having 0.3. Okay, now let's try to ping the this machine or this container from this container. Okay, if you see, I'm getting a response here, correct? That means I am able to reach to the this container from this container. They can talk to each other. Okay, now let me run the same command here with the IP address of 2. Okay, there you go, correct? I am able to reach to this specific container as well. Why? Because they both are connected to same network, that is Breeze network. Okay, understand? A container can connect to multiple networks. Okay, it's not like that this container is set up on a Breeze, so it will not connect to any other network. We can connect a single container to a multiple networks. Okay, now let's understand some Docker commands for networking. Okay, so this is the utility we are going to use, Docker network. If you run Docker network and hit enter, you are going to see these are the command. These are the supported command for Docker network. Now let's run a Docker command ls. So what is the ls? It's a list networks. So if you see, first network is bridge, okay. Second network is host, and third is none. Okay. This is the test network that I created. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's create a network. How do we create network? Docker network create work. Correct. Work network has been created. Let's list. Okay. Done. Now there is one other option, that is inspect. Okay. Inspect is display detailed information of your network. Let's try to run Docker network inspect network. If you see the subnet part, that is 172.19.0. So we are going to get, if you are connecting any container to this specific work network, we are going to get assigned 172.19 series of IP addresses. If you go back, we have a 172.17 series. Okay, work network is going to have 19 series. Okay, let's run one more container. Docker run it ubuntu bash. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this container to the work network. Done. It has been attached. How do you attach? You just pass hyphen network and the name of the network. Correct. Now let's check the host name of the specific. See 172.19.0.2. Correct. Previous one has the 172.17. Now we have a 19. Correct. Now let's do one thing. Let's try to copy. Let me copy this IP address. Let's try to ping this IP address. Okay. We are not seeing any responses. Why? Because they both are belong to different network. This belong to the default network, this belong to the work network. Okay, so I want to establish a communication between this container and this container. So I have to attach the network, the work network to this container. How do I attach? Let's go to another terminal. Docker network connect work the container address, which is container ID. Okay. Before that, I'm gonna run hostname command. Hostname -i. Okay. If you see, I have only one IP address here, 172.17 family IP address, right? I will connect the container which is C7049 to the work network. Okay, with the help of connect option. Done. Okay, now I'm gonna run hostname -i command. Now you see there are two IP addresses. Correct? There are two IP addresses. One is from the default network, one is from the work network. Correct? Now, when I try to uh, ping, see the same command, which is 172.19.02, did not work. We did not receive any responses. But now, since we are connected to this specific network, okay, we have joined a work network, so they can talk to each other. I am able to reach to this specific server. Correct? So this is how you can isolate your Docker container with the help of networking. For example, these are the three containers. Okay, I want to create two different network. Let's say work one. I want to assign work one to this one, first container, and work two to this two containers. Okay, that can be also possible. Okay, and if you want to create establish a communication between this one and this two, so we will just connect this specific to the work two network, just like we have done here. Network connect. Now, how do I disconnect? The same command, just disconnect. Done. Now, if I go here and I'll run my hostname I will not see that extra IP addresses of 19 series. Okay, if I try to run ping command, now it will get stuck. There you go. Okay, so this is how networking works in the Docker. You can create multiple network. A single container can connect with multiple network. Okay, if you see, it says a container can be connected to multiple network. There is no limitation to it. Okay, you can, let's say, a Docker network ls. Okay, sorry, I have to run exit command here. Okay, if I want to delete this one, what is the command I want to use? Docker network remove. Okay, this has been deleted, but this is not deleted. Which one? This one, A, because this work network is still bind to container. Okay, this work network is still bind to the container which is up and running at the moment. Okay, there's bliss blue, correct? So you just have to stop the container, then you would be able to delete it. Now let me run the same command. Okay, now I don't see test network here. Correct, it is gone. It has deleted the network. Correct, the B24 series network. What that was the test network. Correct. This is how you can create, delete, attach, connect, and disconnect the network to the container. Okay, that's it for this video. We'll have more video or more use cases soon. Okay, I'll keep on updating the video. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.